Here are both of them. So what happened was, there's this one guy, he actually told me that he has baby turtles as well that he was finding new homes for, and if I was interested in one. I never gave him an answer, like a straight up answer. The day came, I was getting ready to say goodbye, and he pulls out this little white container from his car with 2 turtles inside. These 2 turtles inside. That's how I ended up getting these guys. It was totally unintentional, but as soon as I saw them there like in front of me, I had to bring them home. So that's how I ended up getting these guys. However, this one has been kind of a pain in the ass. The problem that I've been having with this one, because it's still kind of ongoing, is it's a very picky eater. Okay, I can do this. I have debated in my head how to film this video. I've been going over the possible scenarios of how this can go in my head. I think the best option is to just sit here in front of the camera and talk. Okay, so I have some news. I'm gonna try and not cry in this video, but I don't promise you guys anything, so I'm sorry. Everything started on April 30th. I was going around giving all my animals their dinners. That's like my nighttime routine. Like, I go around and feed all the animals. I got to little one and she didn't want to eat. So I went over to feed little one. You know, I was gonna feed her worms. You guys know she loves worms, and she showed absolutely no interest. So that was like a red flag for me. Like, that was just like impossible. Like, she would never turn down mealworms. So I started, you know, examining her a little bit, trying to see what was wrong. I faced her down and started to notice mucus coming out of her. My cat's using the litter box. So I noticed fluid coming out of her nose. I kind of tipped her, like facing down, and yeah, sure enough, fluid started flowing out of her nose and her mouth. So she definitely had a respiratory infection, so she was definitely sick. Other than that, she hadn't shown any other symptoms, so that's the only symptom that I have been able to see on her. And you know, it's a big symptom, it's a pretty serious symptom, it's a pretty advanced symptom. So it's nighttime right now, so no vet. Right now there's no vets, but tomorrow at 9, so in a few more hours, I'm gonna be rushing her to the vets so that, you know, they can get her checked out, maybe get her into some antibiotics. Yeah, like, you know, like, you guys, it's little one. I'm scared. So I have her here in the bathroom, you know, so that there's no cold drafts of air passing through or anything, you know, just I want to keep her temperature pretty stable. I put a heat bulb above her. I have her here in this little plastic container, and I just have a soft towel in the bottom. I placed her there, and she seems pretty calm, you know, like she doesn't look like super lethargic, like she was still pretty active right now. Are you dying, Cleo? Please don't die, Cleo. Get better, Cleo. You're not allowed to leave me, Cleo, okay? That's not okay. We're not gonna do that, okay? You're not doing that. You're not allowed to do that, okay? Okay. She's just chilling there. I'm kind of freaking out right now. I don't know if you guys can tell in my voice, but yeah, I'm freaking out and terrified. So that was at night, and then the next morning I didn't even sleep that night, like just constantly checking up on her. As soon as the vet clinic where I took her to opened, I called to make an appointment so that they would be ready to receive her. So while we were there and they were examining her, yeah, she started throwing up like crazy. Not just like fluid, it was like food and gastric acid. Like it smelled really bad. I've never seen a turtle throw up. Like that was a first for me. And also she had a lot of fluid coming out of her nose. So it was pretty serious. Like in the time frame of around 8 hours, which is around the time when I noticed the first symptom to the time to where I got her to a vet, she significantly declined in health. That was really scary. I was pretty confident, right, at first, like, oh, well, it's just the RI, you know, we'll get her on antibiotics, keep her warm, she'll be fine. RIs are pretty common with reptiles and they usually recover just fine. So while I was there at the vet clinic and I saw all the other things happening to her, it was alarming. I didn't know what this was and I wasn't sure if she was gonna be fine anymore. So I just dropped off Cleo at the vet's. They're gonna do some x-rays, so that's why I left her there, and I'll be back later today to pick her up. Later that day I went back to pick her up, so I go in and they pass me to the room right away and they're like, okay, you know, we're not really sure what's going on. She showed me her x-rays and it was quite obvious that she indeed did have a respiratory infection. However, that wasn't the only thing going on with her. She had something else happening. Something with her stomach, maybe her intestines, something internal. So, but we needed a fecal test to get a more precise diagnosis there. However, since she was off of food, no poop. So what we decided to do was start treatment for what we did know was wrong. So she had a respiratory infection. We got her started on antibiotics and she would have to go back every 48 hours to get another shot. Also, we nebulized her every 8 hours with medication, like in the nebulizer, and however often I was able to do it throughout the day without medication, just with the saline solution. And then to stop the throwing up, she was put in this medication that we had to administer orally, which was really not easy to do. To top it off, it was like every 8 hours. It was torture for her, and then I hated doing it. Like, I felt bad, you know. I felt like she had all this trust and love in me, and I was just like betraying her by doing that to her. Told that if she did not start to eat on her own, that I would have to start to force feed her. You know, when turtles go off food, when any animal, even humans, go off of food, your health starts declining even faster. So we didn't want that to happen. We wanted her body awake and active and strong, ready for battle. So she only ate one. You know, she was pretty weak still from everything, but she was feeling better, obviously, because she ate. That gave me lots and lots of hope that she would pull through, like she was gonna be fine. Okay, so here we are, like 24 hours after I noticed the first symptom, and like, wow, you know, a lot has happened these past 24 hours, like a lot. I'm actually exhausted. Like, look, my eyes are so red, and it's not because, you know, I know what y'all thinking. They're not red because of that, okay? Yeah, actually, I've maybe had 2 hours of sleep these past 24 hours. Actually, I slept for like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours after I dropped off little one and they were doing her x-rays. You know, I came home and I napped. I had to wake up to go pick her up, and I've been awake ever since and treating her and everything. So I'm like exhausted. Look, my eyes are tearing up. So this is it, you know, this is basically her treatment for the next week or so. You know, it might seem a little bit aggressive. It kind of is, but you know, I'm just trying to give her the best possible chances of her overcoming this. So she's back there chilling. I'm going to sleep, okay? Good night. So obviously there was no like improvement from that night to the next morning. You know, I woke up, I went straight to the bathroom. I was keeping her in the bathroom because it's kind of the warmest room in the house, but it's not even warm. Like, as you can see, I had to put her heat lamp over her, but there was no like cold air draft that could hit her in there. Like, you know, it's a small room, so that's where I kept her. So the next morning I woke up and, you know, I had to go to the bathroom, because that's what you do when you wake up. You gotta let loose. Not let loose, like you gotta let out, okay? So I went to the bathroom, checked up on her, and there was no like significant difference. The only thing I did notice was she was sleeping a lot, but I think it's because she was really tired and she did feel some relief after everything. I believe she was kind of just getting rest. So that whole next day, you know, medication, treatment, everything on schedule. So then the next morning, that would be day 3, I took her back to the vet's for her second shot of antibiotics. So, you know, it's every 48 hours. That was 48 hours later. She was doing a lot better. Like, she was almost pretty much back to normal, because while the vet was trying to give her the shot, she tried to bite her. Like, little one try to bite someone. Never ever ever had she attempted to bite another human. So I was like, oh my god, that's my child in there misbehaving. But at the same time, like, it felt really good, you know, like her energy was back. It was really funny and hopeful, you know, like everyone in that room was so sure that she was out of the woods.
Es que yo creo que ese termómetro no.
Ay, ya tiene ganas de morder.
Ya se siente bien.
Yeah.
Sí, ¿verdad?
Sí. ¿Le tapo la cara con el trapo?
Sí.
Duele, mamá, pero te estás curando.
No, hombre, si ya está más viva.
¿Verdad que sí?
Hola, ya me quieres morder.
Ya se siente mejor, ¿verdad? ¿Ya la ve mejor usted?
Ya, mucho mejor.
So even the vet was like really surprised. She told me like, whoa, you know, she's so much better. And then she actually like told me that on her first appointment when I left her there so that they could do more tests on her and I left, she told me like the staff in there and her constantly went over to where they were keeping her to check up on her and make sure she was still alive. So they thought she was a lot worse than I did. Like, I thought she was really bad, but still, like, I was hopeful. But no, they were going in there to see if she was still alive. So that was kind of crappy to have to hear. Like, they didn't tell me that day. They kept that to themselves. But since she saw her doing a lot better, she went ahead and told me that. So yeah, the vet was really happy. That little one tried to bite her. She was so proud of her, and you know, she set her in the examining table and started taking pictures of her. She's like, I have to show this to the other girls. So that was funny. That was a good moment. So yeah, we went home and you know, we continued with treatment for the next few days. Come here. Come here. Leia. Okay, so I'm seeing here May 2nd. She went back for another shot. Oh, after the second vet appointment, the vet and I talked. Both agreed that we should stop with the oral medication, the one that stopped her regurgitating, so we stopped that medication. So yeah, her recovery was pretty consistent. She started eating again pretty regularly, but her respiratory infection was just not clearing up. And I understand, you know, it could take a few weeks, even months. I get that. So on May 3rd, she didn't want to eat. I offered her some tomato and mealworms, which are again favorites, and she didn't want to eat that. So then I offered her some wet cat food, which is another like weakness of hers, and she did eat some of that. But it did worry me that her appetite was kind of not there. Okay, so on May 4th, she went back to the vets, got another shot. Okay, so on the 6th of May, she was a lot better. Like, I even took her outside, just like let her walk around, get her mind off of things. You know, she had been in my bathroom under her heat lamp for a few days, so I figured she might want to go outside and, you know, enjoy the view, explore, touch dirt. So she was out there for a few hours. Here. What? Come here. Come here. Weirdo. Look, honey. It's Cleo. Yeah. You weirdo. Don't step on her. Well, you're happy today. Everything was pretty much back to normal. She was doing so well. Like, I even posted on Instagram. Like, I had been posting all along, like just constantly updating you guys. Almost daily, I think I was posting. And on that day that I took her out, I posted this. I let you guys know that she was doing amazing. I was happy. I even brought home some rescues. I was sleeping again. Like, that whole time I was not getting enough sleep. Like, I just had all this anxiety, fear, and you know, she was on a very strict schedule for nebulizing. I had to nebulize her still every 8 hours, and you know, that kept me up. Sometimes it'd be like 4 in the morning and I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta go nebulize Cleo. So on that day, I remember I just slept. I slept for like 22 hours straight. Like, I only woke up to go to the bathroom a few times and to feed the animals and to eat, and I went back to sleep. Someone else had to nebulize Cleo for me because I was just like drained, you know. I had to recharge my energy. So the next day I was energized, you know, like I was feeling good. Little one was doing good. So I went out and did my monthly pet shopping that I do every month. Actually, if you're new here, you probably don't know about that because I haven't done like a pet haul in like forever. I'm sorry, I promise to do one next month. I even like somehow ended up with a new pet, but we're not gonna talk about that right now, okay? The next day was my birthday. I didn't really do much because I had to come home and, you know, nebulize Cleo and stuff. And it was also Mother's Day, so I went out with my mom to eat and stuff. Like, it was a pretty simple birthday. It was nice though. It was a good birthday. I had a new pet. Cleo was out of the woods. It was a good day. I went to sleep very happy that night. And then the next day, my fairy tale was over. Everything changed. I don't have a lot of footage of anything afterwards because like little one just started going downhill, and I don't know, like I didn't want to film that or her like that, so I really don't have any more like footage to show you guys. I have like some pictures. Okay, well, here we go, a clip. Okay, so this is from the 12th. So 2 days later, she had gone downhill just so bad that I had to resort to doing veggie soaks. So we did the veggie soaks to get some vitamins into her, some nutrition into her. Along with that, I was also doing force feedings, but I didn't get any footage of that because I didn't want to film her like that, so I didn't. Okay, so I have a clip here from the 13th, and I'm nebulizing her. Here, she was doing really bad. Like, this is when I started to realize that, you know, holy crap, like I don't think she's gonna make it. And that's, you know, that's when it hit me. And I don't have any more clips to show you guys, so I'm just gonna tell you guys kind of what happened. She kept going back to the vets. We noticed she seems very dehydrated, despite the fact that we were doing the veggie soaks, the nebulizing. I was also constantly soaking her to make sure she was hydrated. She shouldn't be dehydrated, but she was very dehydrated. So the vet injected some fluids into her, and then I had to start syringe giving her some electrolytes and continue the force feedings. Basically, long story short, her body was shutting down. I don't wanna, I don't wanna give you guys too many details of her last, like those days. Those were very sad days. She didn't look good. To me, it became quite clear that it was just a matter of time. At that point, I had to make a tough decision. I wanted her to be comfortable. So I continued the nebulizing so that it would bring her some relief. The vet never gave up on her. She still continued with treatment. During those days, we tried new things, new approaches to this, and nothing was working. Her body was just tired. On the 15th, I decided it was enough. She was not getting better. She wasn't gonna get better. I don't really like talking about euthanizing animals because it's a very highly debated topic. You know, some people are really for it. I feel sometimes people just really go for it right away and don't give their animals truly a fighting chance. And some people are so against it that it's absolutely out of the question, so much that they'll allow an animal to suffer for a long time until it dies. It's hard. We are nobody to decide when another living being should stop living. Yeah, so my camera battery died and it takes like forever to charge, so I'm just gonna finish filming with my phone. Basically, my point is a lot of people jump towards euthanizing animals. I'm not one of those people, but I know when it's time. Like, you just know. You know. Here's what I knew. She wasn't getting any better. She stopped responding to treatment. She was tired. She was suffering. Like, if you guys would just see her face, you know, the way she would look at me. She looked absolutely miserable. I knew it was time. And it sucked, you know, like, she was my baby. I fought for her. I fought with her. We fought together. I was there with her. I gave her every chance, every possibility to get better. And it wasn't her, you know, it was her body. Like, she fought. She fought. I told her, you know, like, you know, baby, I know you fought. You fought really hard and I'm so proud of you. And I know I told you that you weren't allowed to leave me, but it's fine, you know, like, I understand. And I said my goodbyes. I told her I loved her a lot, and I kissed her, and I made my way to the vets, and I said goodbye to her. So some of you on Instagram and Facebook brought up that maybe she ate some of the not turtle safe plants in her enclosure that I placed in her enclosure. That absolutely could not have been it. In one of my last videos, you guys saw me take all my turtles outside. What you guys don't know is all my turtles are back inside because there's remodeling being done in the entire house, but also in the backyard. So all my animals that were outside had to come back inside so that, you know, the people doing the work around here could work there. Everything that was outside, animal related, back inside. But I didn't bring in little one's enclosure. Her enclosure is still outside because it has all the plants and stuff. She was inside in her winter type enclosure, and she had been inside for a very long time before she got sick. I do have theories of what I think happened, but nothing really that makes a lot of sense. So I'm not gonna tell you guys what I think happened because it might have not happened that way. But all I know is it happened. Like you guys, that next day that little one had passed away, it made me so sad when I would walk by her outdoor enclosure. I wanted it like gone. I placed it for sale online, and yeah, like there was a lot of people that were actually interested. I posted it like that, as it was. Plants, cave, everything. Like, it looks nice. I wanted it gone. I didn't even care about the money. I actually told my mom, like, oh hey, like really casually we were talking about other things. I come out of nowhere like, oh hey, by the way, I'm gonna sell little ones enclosure. And she was all like, what? No, why would you do that? You can't get rid of Cleo's enclosure, that's her little house. And I told her, like, I don't know, I don't like walking by and knowing she's not gonna be going there anymore. I don't want another turtle to put in there. I will always look at that as little one's house. Yeah, it's just empty now. And she's like, no, you know, if you don't want it, just, I want it here. So she guilted me into like not getting rid of it. All the people that were interested, I told them that someone else decided to pay more for it and that's why they weren't getting it. But really it's because my mom didn't want me to get rid of it. So apparently we're gonna keep little one's enclosure, you know, kind of to remember her. So my mom didn't know that I actually like posted little one's enclosure for sale. Like I told her that I was thinking about doing it, but I had already done it, but I didn't tell her that. And then she goes online and she sees the post and she was like, oh my god, I can't believe you posted her little house. Like, you don't waste any time. The day that I die, you're gonna sell my bed the next day. And it was funny. And then I was like, well, I told you I was gonna do it. That was pretty funny.